What is up, everybody? Welcome to Hero Power. This is episode 55. As
It
always,
looks like you just threw up 10.
woo! Five. That better?
There you go.
All
I
right.
want it better.
As always, I am your host, Avantes, and I am joined, as always, by my co-hosts, Zeroshio.
What is up, gang? It's great to see you guys tonight.
And Mr. I have to make fun of how Patrick counts, Versika.
Happy hump day.
That's right.
Hump day? Yeah.
Oh, no. You know what? I need to make my own little gift, and we'll put the camel above your head. I get the salt, you get the camel.
Yeah.
See, Avantes is finally feeling hump day for the first time where he actually has to work a full work day.
Welcome back to hourly, sir.
Right.
Welcome back to
Yeah.
hourly.
At least I still got chicken. All right. With that said, Versika, before we get into this, tell us a little bit about Vaforce.
All right, so I had an interesting discussion today about 4K gaming and VR gaming, and with all this coming out for the PlayStation 4, and you get to see all these videos about VR. Started thinking, well, what's going to happen come PC time? You know, where's the VR games for the PC? Well, they're not really out there like being talked about yet because most people don't have the computers capable of running. Vaforce, however, does have one that's capable of running. It's called the Impulse. $1,300. You get a 4 gigahertz, 8-core processor, features a GTX 1060 graphics card, 16 gigs of RAM, 120 gigabyte solid-state drive, and a 1 terabyte standard platter drive. And here's the thing. We're at that time where you're in that sweet spot of Christmas and tax return money. Vaforce offers 6 months, same as cash financing. You could get the Impulse now, and you could finish paying it off with your tax return. You could have it in time for Christmas, get all the games you want for Christmas, and then pay it off when you cash that check. Right. So think about that a little bit. We'll come back to it in between the audio portion and the play portion.
All right. So we got emails. Boy, do we got emails for you guys this week, and we appreciate it. Thank you so much. You know, we love hearing, we say it every week. We love hearing from you guys, and we did. A few weeks back, one of our regular listeners, Dusharbo, sent us an email. We decided to hold on to it because it was about Heroic Tavern Brawl. Before I get into that, we got another email from a listener this week that I want to touch on. So Paul sent us this message. He says, so there's an article on Bleacher Report that Madame Goya is just going to be a cheap clone of Barnes. What are your feelings on that? So that's part one of his email. So let's start there. I'm going to start with Zeroshio because I've already heard his point of view on this, and I want a chance to kind of counter it. And I don't know Versika's point of view on this yet, so he may counter it for me. But all right, Zeroshio, go ahead.
Madame Goya, if you don't know, is a 6-mana. Oh, what's her stats? It's
4/3.
4/3. 6-mana, 4/3, and she has a battle cry that swap one of your minions in play with a minion in your deck. Now, this doesn't put out a copy like Barnes. This actually takes a card from your deck and puts it in play. I think that she is worse than Barnes. I don't think she's as good as Barnes. Mainly because with Barnes, it's actually like creating a 31st card in your deck. And a lot of times you can get some really good value out of it. In worst case scenario, it's a 1/1. Where in Madame Goya's train of thought, yeah, you could put a valuable battle cry back into your deck. And with singleton decks probably going to be popular, that might be valuable. But you might actually take a more valuable battle cry and put it into play where the battle cry doesn't go off. You would actually have to stack your deck with so many minions that don't have battle cries, that have death rattle or static effects, And yes, it puts it in as a full value, similar to what Yashar's does. But I honestly think she's not that good, and I don't expect her. I expect a lot of people try to play with her, but I don't expect her to stick to the meta like something like Barnes or Reno did with specific Reno type decks. I don't think she's the card of the set.
Forsika?
Here's a shocker. I disagree. I like
My
Madame
surprised
Goya.
face. All right,
Yeah,
go
I
ahead.
know. I like Madame Goya. I especially like her in Malagos decks. I like her in Rogue in general because of Shadow Step. So if something happens, it does pull a valuable minion out that has that battle cry. You can always Shadow Step it back to your hand. I really like her in Ramp Druid too. I like her in, maybe a Dragon variant of some of these decks that can't really run Deathwing. I think this also may make Nozdormu a little more playable because part of the reason I feel like Nozdormu doesn't see much more play is because of his cost. There's so many other cards in that slot. So, now if you have the chance to pull him with Goya and let's say that you're playing Druid, you ramp into her on turn 4 and suddenly you've got an 8/8 and you got 15 seconds to deal with it. I mean, I see huge tempo swing possibilities with Madame Goya. Is she a high-risk card? Absolutely. I think she's a very high-risk card. I don't know that you will see her in a lot of the meta decks. I think you're going to have to build a deck around doing what she does well. But I think she'll have a place. But I do agree with you in that I think this is a strong set. Just across the board, I think it has a lot of solid cards. So I don't believe she will be the card of the set. But I think she's a great surprise card. And I think that she's going to turn games where you don't expect to see her coming.
Yeah. And I kind of agree with you, obviously. That was my whole point of letting Zeroshio start first. I think she's got some potential here. I'm really excited to see what kind of wacky, crazy combos we can pull off with her. It just seems like a fun card all around. And like you said, I agree she is very high risk, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun to play with her. So,
and don't be mistaken, I do agree that she will create some great trolldom videos. I think Disguised Toast is going to break down all the math on her and find out the values on her. I think there's going to be some crazy combo set with her. I just don't think she will be in as high a win rate deck as Barnes can supply.
Yeah.
Well, think of it this way: what's Leroy Jenkins' only down? Or what's his only drawback?
His
You give your
health.
opponent
Give your opponent
two
two health as
Madame
well
Goya.
as
Yeah, Madame Goya. She takes care of that for you.
Yeah.
What about these cards, especially in Warlock? Where when
how does she take care of that for you? I don't understand.
She
your
can
logic
pull
there.
him into play and the battle cry doesn't go off.
Right.
Okay, I mean, but the probability that you will get him is really slim.
Well, it depends on how you build the deck.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
Look at all these Yasarj decks.
Yeah.
Yes, but Yashar's can be done. Yashar's can be done with just Barnes and Yashar's. You can't do it with just Madame Goya and Yashar's. You have to have another minion to bounce back. And if you water down and only put, say, 3 minions in the deck, what's the probability you'll have another minion to bounce back? Unless you use spell minions, tokens. That's possible too. Maybe in a shaman. I think she's going to be. You are going to have to build a deck around her. I just think she's so niche that the decks will come out, they won't perform well, and then they'll go on the shelf.
And
one of the things I was talking about Rogue, Matt at Arms is bringing up in chat that she's really powerful with N'Zoth. He was saying N'Zoth Paladin. I think she's very powerful in N'Zoth Rogue.
Mm-hmm.
If she was at the 4 mana slot, I might be a little more lenient on her. But 6 mana, that's so late.
Yeah, and Matt at Arms also says that you could maybe even find a way to put Reno back in your deck. Reno, then at 10 mana you Reno, then you Innervate and Madame Goya and put Reno back in your deck. Get him again later. I mean, it's possible. And
just to show you that I can do it too, I'm gonna build a Madame Goya Nosdormu deck.
I love Nosdormu. He is my favorite dragon. I made the cheese Nosdormu balance deck to cheese the rope before they fixed it.
Mr. Nasty's asking, can you choose the minion she puts back? Yes, you choose the minion that goes back into your deck. You don't choose the minion that comes out of your deck. So,
mind you, if you don't have a minion in play, she does nothing.
Right, and I think that makes her a viable late game option, which is why I don't mind the 6 mana card.
All right.
She will be most powerful in Shaman and in Paladin, where you can create with your hero power a minion. But yeah, I want to be proven wrong.
Yeah,
because I'd like to see her be cool.
All right, so the second half of Paul's message is in regards to our Hearthstone Invitational tournament that we're hosting next year. He says, if someone were to pay to get into your tournament and lose, could they win out at the fireside to get back into the championship run? Let me explain a little more about how this is going to work. So, if you are in our invitational tournaments in January, and then I think we decided we were going to do them in May or June and like August.
January, April, and January, April, and August.
Yeah, January, April, and August, something like that, yeah. So, if you are in those tournaments, you are earning points. Also, you are getting a chance at the cash. Basically, these tournaments are for the cash prizes, but the top 2 finishers, are going to from each tournament are going to accumulate a large amount of points. So then, at the end of the 3 events, the top 6 players with the most amount of points after those events. Is that right, Versik? Or am I getting that mixed up with the fireside?
You're getting that mixed up with the fireside.
Okay,
so
that's what I thought.
The top 2 finishers for each tournament will go to the championship.
Yeah. So in January, top 2 finishers, I get automatic bids into the championship. In April, the top 2 get a bid into the championship. In August, the top 2 get a bid into the championship. So basically, you should come back and play every month for a chance at the cash. So say 2 people win in January, and one of those guys finishes number 1 in April. Well, 2 and 3 would go because the number 1 already has a bid. Now you're just that once you win, you're just back in playing for the cash. But
now, reminder: the cash prize tournaments are for the patrons.
Yes, those are for the patrons only. You have to be a patron.
The firesides will have no cash prize.
Correct. So let me talk about the firesides
for the championship.
Let me talk about the firesides for a minute, because the firesides in the Knoxville area will be a kind of a league style play. That's where you'll be earning points, and the top 2 points earners at the end of the season.
That season's going to run from January to August.
Yeah, so every month you come to our fireside in 2017, you have the chance to earn points. And the top 2 points earners from the firesides will also get a bid into the online championship tournament. So you're going to have 6 patrons, 2 fireside players that are guaranteed into the championship next November. So, it's your best shot really is to do it through the patron tournaments, because you also have a shot at the cash. If you're playing in the firesides only, you don't have any chance at any of the money, but you have to be there every month, and you have to go through a larger group to get in. So it's definitely more advantageous to be a patron.
Now, if a fireside championship tournament competitor wins, now they get the championship money. Because you don't get money at
Yes.
firesides. But if you get to the championship tournament, everyone in there is playing for the grand prize.
Correct. That is correct.
I just wanted to clarify that.
And you are correct,
But
Kindfish.
basically, patrons, if patrons get the highest probability of winning the cash prizes for each tournament.
That's
And
correct.
if you win multiple, the next person in placement will qualify for the championship.
Yeah,
at the end of the year.
kind of like the what happened in the summer APAC, where Handsome Guy had already won. He couldn't win again, so it went to the next person in line. That'll be the same way in our patron tournament. If somebody that's already won one wins again, that person will get the money, but the next person down will get the invite to the championship.
Yes.
Just to bring Kindfish's question out for our audio listeners and those that aren't live, you do need to be a patron as of December 1st, right?
Correct. Yeah.
To be
December
eligible
1st,
to enter
January
into the
1st.
January
Mhm.
tournament.
Yeah.
So that means you need to sign up through Patreon by the end of this month, which is November.
Yeah. That's correct. And we're going to have a good time, guys. I'm already working on layouts. These guys are ready to shoutcast. We're going to have a blast this coming year as far as Hearthstone tournaments go. So,
I'm excited.
yeah, me too. All
Welcome
right.
to the Inspire Club, as Matt at Arms says.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about our second email that we've actually been sitting on for a few months. Our good friend Ducharmo has written us a book, and I'm going to start at chapter 1. So, it says, Dear Hero Power, I really like the idea behind this brawl. However, I do think the rewards are a bit steep. I mean, the odds of someone getting 12 wins is too damn high. I wanted to try to find the meme
damn
of the
low.
guy. Yeah, I know. But, yeah, too damn low. Anyway, my thoughts on how to make this a more palatable tournament mode is at the end. I do not feel that this is a test for permanent tournament mode. Here's why. I feel that tournament mode is a bad model for the game. First off, it'll kill fireside gatherings. One big reason people come to my gatherings is the excitement of playing in a tournament. If you give people a permanent tournament mode in-game, they will choose to stay home and play tournaments there rather than go to gatherings. This will kill the community portion of the game that Blizzard has been working so hard to build. Blizzard has made some big mistakes in their games, especially World of Warcraft. They've admitted before that they regret some of their decisions, and the reason why they made these decisions contrary to their personal beliefs was that the community was pushing for it. Prime examples of this is flying mounts and looking for raid. Excuse me. Flying mounts essentially let you ignore everything and just fly from point A to point B, killing all interaction. Looking for raid makes the community teamwork aspect of the game unimportant. These were two aspects that made the game fun, and it now lacks. Believe it or not, the community is not always right. What? If Blizzard gives Hearthstone a tournament mode, I feel that it will have the same result as the aforementioned examples, as well as kill fireside gatherings. I think a good compromise would be to have these heroic brawls on a regular basis, i.e. once a month or two, instead of doing, say, randomonium over and over. We can just have a heroic brawl instead of these reprise brawls. They also cater to casuals by having heroic brawls that maybe have special stipulations, such as no legendaries or basic cards only, with lower entry fees and corresponding rewards for these brawls with multiple entry options. There is so much they can do with these heroic brawls. So here's my idea on how they can do a heroic brawl that will feel exactly like tournament mode. If they can figure out a way to a 2-part heroic brawl, it'll work perfectly. First, you play 4 games Swiss style. Then, based off your record, you play in a 3-round versus people with similar and corresponding rewards. For example, 4-0 and 3-1 players will play in a Tier 1 bracket with Tier 1 rewards. 2-2 and 1-3 players will play in a Tier 2 bracket with Tier 2 rewards. 0 and 4 players can play in a Tier 3 bracket with Tier 3 rewards. Thanks for reading and listening, Ducharmo. All right, so let's talk about this a little bit. Zeroshio, why don't you start?
First off, I don't think a tournament mode would kill Fireside Gatherings. Now, let me stipulate that. I don't think a formulated, well-designed tournament mode will kill Fireside Gatherings. If you put in a tool in the client just for people to make their own tournaments and host them, then yes, Fireside Gatherings could suffer. But if you did a tournament mode similar to this Heroic Brawl, that was you play when you want for a certain number of wins before you get an X number of losses, similar to Arena, I don't think that'll kill Fireside Gatherings. It's just a different mode of play that's competitive for constructed players. I like this Heroic Tavern Brawl. We'll talk a little bit more about it later when we talk about the Tavern Brawl. But and I think the risk versus rewards is actually fine. And this is somebody that hasn't done well yet, and I've wasted 2,000 gold. But I think the risk is just fine versus the reward. Your idea for your tournament mode, I think, is a little bit too time-consuming. I like the idea. I would love to do something like this. But tournament modes like this have kind of killed the online tournament modes for Magic the Gathering, where you have to literally sit for 6 hours and do tournaments. I like the type of modes where you can just get as many games as you can in, it holds your record, and you come back to it later. Now, that's not the type of tournament format that people are used to, and they want to have the Swiss formats or the elimination formats because that's the environment you want to compete in, because that's what the professionals are competing in. And people like to match themselves up to what the professionals are doing, and I get it. I don't think an online version of that type of tournament would be viable. And if you want something like that, there are plenty of those types of Swiss and elimination tournaments online and at your local Fireside Gatherings.
Yep. Versika?
So, you can go a couple episodes back and kind of get my opinions on the Heroic Tavern Brawl. I actually agree with Ducharmo. I think that an online tournament mode would be detrimental to the community of Hearthstone. I think, as a general rule, people that gravitate towards solo games tend to be a little more introverted, and if you give them the option to stay home and not have to interact with people, I think that they're going to choose to stay at home and not interact with people. This isn't a knock on people who are introverted at all, and I don't want anyone to take it that way, but I think if you're looking to grow a dynamic community in a game where you're playing 1v1 all the time, I think getting people out of their respective domiciles and getting together and having a good time playing in an environment where you're face-to-face with one another adds an element to the game that is important for Hearthstone's longevity, in my opinion. And I think that the more people that you get involved in coming out and participating in these LAN events, I think the more successful the tournament scene will become. I think part of the problem that you're seeing when you get some of the players that are used to playing ladder and just playing online is when they get into these LAN events, the pressure is, it's a little more than they can handle. They tend to make mistakes. So I think the more practice people can get going out to LAN events and practicing helps them. And sometimes we hurt ourselves by taking the option that's easiest to us. And I think if you provide an online tournament mode, you're providing an easy out instead of encouraging the path that takes a little more effort.
Yeah, I agree.
So Mr. Nasty just noticed that the background has changed. Yes, I finally gotten out of the kitchen. There's no more kitchen toilet.
He's now in the closet.
Oh.
Not in the closet either. I now have my own podcast room set up, so it's been a little while in the making. But yeah, I'm no longer in the kitchen.
Yeah. All right, so we also have a iTunes review this week. Woohoo! And it is a 5-star review from our good friend Confish. He says, been listening to the podcast for a long time. Should have reviewed sooner. He says he doesn't use Apple products.
We forgive you.
Woohoo! On top of great information about news, cards, decks, etc., what really makes them stand out is their passion for the Hearthstone community. They go out of their way to interact with their listeners, and catching the podcast live on Twitch is a must. Great chat room with cool people who love the game. Whether you've been playing for years or just started playing, this is a must listen with something for everyone. Keep up the great job, guys. Thank you, Confish. And chat room, you guys got a shout out in an iTunes review.
That's right.
That is awesome.
And I want to say a personal thank you to Kindfish. Kindfish has been in our chat room every week for the last few weeks. Our chat room is one of the best chat rooms I've ever been in for a podcast. And I've been on quite a few podcasts. We usually consistently have at least 9 to a dozen, sometimes upwards as many as 15 people in there on a regular basis. So we really do appreciate it. And I just want to thank everybody for supporting our show. We wouldn't do it without you.
Absolutely.
And we realize that we're in a tough time slot. There's a lot going on Wednesday nights at 7:30. So
yeah, so we appreciate y'all
guys
being here.
sticking with us.
All right. With that said, we are 30 minutes into the show, and let's get into the news. All right. So this week we have been getting steady reveals and rollouts of cards from the new Mean Streets of Gadgetzan expansion from all of our favorite streamers and YouTubers.
And some of the ones we don't even like.
Yeah, some of them we don't even like. But, hey. Last week, we got to see a bunch of cards from the Grimy Goons get revealed, including Don Honcho. And this week, we're seeing a lot of cards from the Cabal. So, I know we've not talked a lot about specific cards, and the reason is we will some, but there's so many sources out there right now flooding the news with the cards. In fact, we're one of them. We just don't do it on our show. But our patrons have access to our Hero Power Discord channel, and we are constantly in our Discord posting all the new releases, theory crafting about it, talking about it. It's nonstop. So it's a great resource. We feel like that we're able to talk to you guys a little more one-on-one about the cards in our Discord for our patrons. So that's
I'm not involved in that because these two desk jockeys get to stay on their phones all day. I'm actually on a place where I can't have my phone, so I get to catch up on all of it when I get home. So I'm with you guys. I get to see what they think about this.
I personally am going to be doing my own personal card reviews, and I'll record those and put those out for our patrons. I'm just waiting for a larger chunk of cards to come out, and then I'll probably do segments of card reviews, probably class specific and then neutrals and so forth and so on, as more cards start rolling out.
Yeah.
This week they're doing Cabal. Next week, a lot of people are presuming they're going to do Jade Lotus. I honestly think they're going to take a week off because it's Thanksgiving week. And then the following week after Thanksgiving, do the Jade Lotus, which would set us up for a December 6th release. Now, I'd love them to do Jade Lotus next week and release it on November 29th to surprise everybody, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah. All right, so that's why we're not touching on individual cards right now is because we're covering individual cards in our Discord with our patrons, and we'd love for you guys to come join us. It's a lot of fun. We're in like Zrosho said, we're in there constantly.
Constantly, and one of our regular patrons in there, Matt at Arms, literally posts a link to the card reveal. It has to be within seconds of it being revealed. So he is on the spot, Johnny on the spot.
Yeah, let me tell you a story about that. Yesterday, I was like, Okay, I'm sitting at my computer. I'm waiting for the reveal. It pops up. I right-click on the image, download it so I can post it into the Discord. I go over there, and Matt at Arms has already got it there. I'm like, how? How is he getting it there so fast? But, hey, that's benefit to you guys. So, we love interacting with you. But, yeah, so you can go and check out. I think we've got half of the set has been spoiled so far.
68 as of earlier, but I think another one was revealed, so 69 then.
Okay, so a little
revealed,
more than half.
Not spoiled, revealed.
Yeah.
What?
Not spoiled.
Monkey said spoiled.
Yeah,
Said
yeah. Well,
revealed.
It's spoiled if you don't want to know what's coming before you open your packs.
Well, if you don't want to know what's coming, then don't look.
What are you going to do? Not get on the internet?
Good point.
Spoiled. So, yeah. This is from our Discord. As you can see, like I said, we're always on it. So
this is a great audio. Great
I know, right? Audio listeners, do you see this picture? No? Tough.
That's okay. The video don't either because it's already gone back to sleep.
Yeah, I know. All right. So, check out GadgetZan.com for more info on the set. We will talk more about it as it gets closer. Next, the Celestial Invitational. This is a tournament that's coming up.
No, it's happening in China now.
Oh, it's happening in China now. Okay.
Yes.
So you guys...
They just finished up their second or third week.
All right, Rasika, tell us more about it.
So the Celestial Invitational Tournament, it includes a lot of well-known players. They're playing best of 17 matches. So one of every class is last man standing, and they started out in a sort of a quasi-wild format using Nax, but not Goblins versus Gnomes. Well, then this past weekend's tournament was using Goblins versus Gnomes, but not allowing the Nax cards. So this coming weekend will be the first time that they are going full-on wild. So this next weekend's best of 17s will be total wild format, and it's actually really surprising. There have been a couple of alterations to the old decks that were really popular before Whispers came out and the introduction of Standard, but for the most part, it's like stepping back in time about a year ago. They're either a standard deck with like just a couple of cards changed over from wild, or they're wild and you see maybe one new card or two maybe. But Mech Mage is still just ridiculously powerful. Secret Paladin is still just ridiculously powerful. But believe it or not, more people are playing Murloc Paladin than played the Secret Paladin this last time. So it's been interesting. It's certainly a fun watch. Now it starts at it's like 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or something ridiculous like that. So what I've been doing is I've been waking up about 5:30, 6 o'clock, catching the second match, and then going back and watching the VOD of the first match.
Okay.
But it's been good to watch. It's been fun to watch. Tice is in it. Hafu is in it.
Eloise is in it, right?
I said Hafu. Eloise is in it.
Yeah, I must say, I didn't think it was Hafu.
Lucky Chook is in it. Jason Joe is in it. Raynad is in it. It's good. 6-0 is in it.
To clarify the format just a little bit, it's best of 17, last hero standing, which means you have to bring all 9 classes, and you have to beat all 9 classes.
Right. So you could, but it's if you win, you can win 6 games with Dragon Priest, which is
you can win 17 games. You can win them all, or 9 games with Dragon Priest if you want.
I think the longest run I've seen so far has been with Dragon Priest, and they went 9 games and finished out with it.
The big allure of the format is if you're afraid to play weak classes, you have to, and so it really makes people make quality priest decks, quality paladin decks. I'm excited for this tournament, and it's pretty cool. I've caught a couple of the VODs because it's over in the Asia Pacific area. It's kind of hard to keep up on it other than the VODs.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's talk about our big announcement this week, which is Tavern Brawl.
Wait. We got a new patron
What?
right now. Kindfish is a new patron. I'm in now, homies. Patron. Thank you, Kindfish.
Nice. If you can,
rock.
Kindfish, hang around a little after the show. I need to talk to you,
Facebook.
but yeah, we'll get you in Discord.
Get y'all squared away.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very
All right,
much.
go on.
All right. Tavern Brawl. This week, it finally happened, guys. This is not a drill. Heroic Tavern Brawl is live. So you make a standard deck to compete with the best. Stakes are high. Competition is intense. More wins means more rewards. Can you make it to 12 wins, or will 3 losses end your run? So, I said a few weeks back when this was first announced, it was going to make awesome watching on Twitch, and it has.
Yes.
You were like a cat on coffee.
You were watching 6 streams at one time. What is up with you?
Well, it was good.
Meanwhile, I'm actually playing in the Heroic Tavern Brawl.
Well, I'm not going to be partaking because I'm saving my gold for Mean Streets of Gadget Sand.
Well,
and I don't have
got
$10
the
bucks to
bundle,
throw down
so
right
I'm
now
blowing
on it,
all
so.
my gold on this.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's talk just a little bit about it. Zeroshio, you've already played 1 or 2, right?
2.
All right. So what are your thoughts on Heroic Tavern Brawl as a mode?
Well, I wanted to get right in, and so I played during a not the best time to play, probably, on my phone, and because I wanted to play when all the streamers were playing. I didn't face any streamers, but I got 1 win. My biggest concern was everybody was just going to run Warrior and Shaman. That's all you were going to see. That was not the case. I saw a Aviana Druid deck. I saw crazy Mage decks that weren't your normal freeze or tempo. I saw Paladin Rush decks. My first run, I went 1 and 3, and my second run, I went 2 and 3. I definitely am going to sit down probably when I have more time, maybe Friday or Saturday, and some of the top end players have kind of weeded out and done their 5 runs already, and get a couple more runs in and see if I can try to get to that 6-7 wins. That's where I'll be happy if I can land that. The deck building is what I've been impressed with. People have put in tech cards and cards you normally wouldn't see, because why not? They're just trying to find something that you can't expect to win the games.
Rasika, thoughts?
I'm not partaking either. The way I see this is just a way to get people to spend a bunch of their gold before the new expansion comes out, so that they're forced to spend a little more real money. It's a great marketing move. I'm not saying anything bad about Blizzard. I think it's brilliant. I think there's a lot of people participating. I think I think the micro meta that is this Tavern Brawl is moving faster than the internet can keep up. So I think that net decking isn't really happening as much as you might see in a normal, like, last day of the ladder or something like that. So I think that's very good for the meta. In general, I think this micro meta is very good for the overall meta, because I think some of the decks that come out of this micro meta are going to make it's going to make their way into the actual ladder meta. And I think it's going to create a lot of variety in this last 10 or so days of the month and that last ladder climb. So I think the ladder is going to be very interesting. I think it's going to be very frustrating. I think if you are looking to make a ladder push, I think the time to do it is now and not the end of the month. Because once this Heroic Tavern Brawl is over and people focus back on the ladder, I think the meta is going to be turned on its head.
Yeah, I agree.
This is definitely going to give a lot of people new ideas for decks on the ladder because the streamers are coming up with really neat style decks. I actually had Valshiraj, the priest legendary, played against me. The copy that made
I've seen a lot of Valsaraj.
It's crazy. It's the tech that they're throwing out. I think it's flash in the pan meta. I don't think it's something that'll survive on the ladder. But I haven't seen as much shaman as I expected. I have seen quite a bit of warrior, but to be honest, that's expected because that's what counters shaman. Mm-hmm. And you're not just seeing control warrior. You're seeing control warrior. You're seeing Cthulhu warrior. You're seeing the N'Zoth control warrior. You're also seeing the classic. I'm seeing armor smiths being whipped out for control warrior. That's just all about getting your armor up to insane numbers and just powering that fatigue warrior where you just get to fatigue with 80 armor, and what are they gonna do about it?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, for the audio listeners out there, Avantes was really talking about Herald of Village, not Yasarj.
Yeah.
Yeah, Herald Village. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Yasarj was in there too. I saw quite a bit of Yasarj. But Herald Village, that's the one I was talking about. I get them mixed up because I hardly ever see them. But they're out there now. And it's really neat seeing the deck innovations at these streamers and seeing some of the top-end streamers, top-end competitive players go 3 wins before they're out, or just 4 wins. And then seeing some of the lesser-known streamers and pro players end out with 12 wins, like our friend Bloodyface out there, who was one of the first guys that reported 12 wins.
Yeah.
And I was watching Firebat when he got his 12 wins, and Firebat was at 9 wins and 1 loss when Bloodyface got his 12 wins. So it was pretty cool.
I think this is where you separate the really talented, adaptive, competitive players from someone who pulls a deck off the internet and just plays a ridiculous number of games with it and gets so good at it that they ride that deck all the way into a legend status. I think if you're looking to, if you're a beginner to intermediate Hearthstone player and you are looking to improve your game, this is a great time to watch some of these streams, because what you're going to see is the essence of how to play Hearthstone. Not necessarily how to play a particular deck, but what you're going to be learning from watching these streams is the concepts of how to do what and when to do it.
Yeah, and it simulates the tournament meta more closely than the ladder meta, because you're seeing tech options, you're seeing combo synergies, and the reason is because those players know that they're going to be facing a set number of different types of decks. Now, they've been surprised by some of these crazy Druid and Priest and Paladin techs have been put in there, but it's not like the ladder where you're just basically just keep pounding the pavement until you get to Legend.
Wait, and Nibbleswap said in chat that Bloody played straight mid-range Shaman to 12 wins, nothing revolutionary. I really, actually, very much disagree with that. Watching all the streamers today try to get to 12 wins, nothing is a hand me in this one. You have to know what you're doing, and you have to be able to play it to get there, and you're going to have to navigate some matchups that aren't necessarily that the mid-range Shaman isn't necessarily strong against. So, I guess I'm tired of this rhetoric about the mid-range Shaman just being ridiculously overpowered, because I see it get beat all the time. There's just more people playing it. Like you said, Warrior beats it. Well, how often would you say Warrior beats mid-range Shaman right now?
I I don't know the exact numbers, but depending on the warrior, Control Warrior and Cthulhu Warrior do a pretty good job on it.
Well,
I'd say it's like around 60%.
I was watching both Firebat and who was the other one? No, wasn't RDU. It was one of the other. I think it was Chalky. Or one of them. They were both talking about playing decks that specifically countered Shaman because they anticipated seeing a lot of Shaman. And so they went in with that strategy, and it paid off for a couple of them because they ended up with like 9 or 10 wins. And they ran into like 5 or 6 Shamans. So,
there's
but a good Shaman player is still going to figure out a way to win.
Yeah, a good Shaman player is still going to get around it.
A good player playing any deck is going to figure out a way to win. And right now, the upper tournament meta, or not the upper tournament, the upper ladder meta is just as all over the place as the bottom ladder meta. Still see a lot of Zeus, still see a lot of Hunter, still see a lot of mid-range Shaman. I've been watching several streamers this week that have been up around the Legend mark, whether they're just making their final push to get into Legend or whether they're already playing in Legend. And this is European and America's regions, and both metas are actually really similar right now. It's probably the most similar that I've seen them.
Yeah, and Ducharme, go ahead.
There's a lot of variety up there right now.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Ducharme points out that mid-range it holds its own very well against most decks. It struggles with Freeze Mage, and one of the decks that I saw today was Chess Dude 123 actually took Freeze Mage to 12 wins.
Yeah, I saw Freeze Mage. Freeze Mage is strong in this as well. Mm-hmm. Of course, Freeze Mage piloted well has a high win rate. I do want to kind of touch base on some other opinions of this mode. A good friend of the show, Espo, is not a fan of this mode. And there's a lot of people on Reddit and Twitter that are very vocal and upset that this mode ever actually came out. Here's the thing. This mode may not be for you. Blizzard even said that. Team 5 even said that this mode is not for everybody. And they understand that. Obviously, with the streamers streaming and the amount of people that were watching them, the amount of people that are willing to do the 1,000 gold like myself and just see how well they can play just within the first few hours, just because it's not for you doesn't mean it doesn't need to exist. That's my big stance. I know, again, I'm really good buddies with Espo over Legends of the Innkeeper, but I don't necessarily agree that just because a large majority of the players may not enjoy this mode, that it should not have been released. I do think they were smart in releasing it in a temporary fashion through the Tavern Brawl. And this may garner a way to make it its own mode. And if they do make it its own mode, then it's just for those small percentage of people that want to do it. Just like Arena. Not everybody plays Arena, but it still exists. So don't poo-poo on this mode just because you don't want to do it. There are people that enjoy it, are going to enjoy it, and let them have their time. And next week it'll be back to the brawls you enjoy. And to be honest, you'll be out 100 gold worth of a pack, and that's it.
Yeah. And See Me No More says, he's going to let you tell Espo all that.
I'll tell Espo. I ain't scared. I love him to death, and I honor his opinion.
Yes.
And I think he doesn't like that there's not an alternative for the casual player this week, and I understand that. He's very strong about his opinion of this Tavern Brawl, and I think he might be over-exaggerating his opinion a little bit. I don't think he actually thinks this shouldn't exist, but I can't understand that his style of play does not feed well into this mode. And I honor his opinion, but I disagree. I think it should exist, and people are having fun with it.
Yeah.
Well, the casual play in Hearthstone is part of the problem here because it's not really casual. Casual play is where people go to play meta decks when they want to practice those meta decks and they don't want to play in ranked to do it. They don't want to risk losing ranks to do it. So the Tavern Brawl is a place for casual players to go each week and truly play a casual game. And for this week, because casual mode isn't really casual mode, the casual player doesn't have anything to do for the next 7 days. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I get where he's coming from. But the problem isn't necessarily that there's a heroic Tavern Brawl. The problem is that there is no alternative if you're not a competitive player this week. For the next 7 days, if you're not a competitive player, you just don't get to play.
I did kind of get hit by it. I got home and I did my Heroic Brawl second run, and then it was a little bit before show. I was like, well, let me knock these quests out. Oh, it's Priest and Paladin. Well, I'll just knock in the Tavern Brawl and knock these. Oh, wait a minute. I'm not going to be able to do that this week.
Nope.
I can't do my quest in Tavern Brawl this week. So, I mean, I'm feeling the effects of it, but, you know, I still was able to do my quests.
What are you going to do?
Pop on the ladder and tough out playing Priest and Paladin.
No, you'll pull a meta deck and you'll go into casual so it doesn't ruin your rank. And you'll play this meta deck.
I never play casual. I do all my quests in either Tavern Brawl or I do them on the ladder. I never play casual.
So I wasn't bad phrasing. I wasn't saying you as in you, Zeroshio. I'm saying you as a general player.
Gotcha. The best option is casual. Yes.
Right. Because that's where you can take these decks that you don't play on a regular basis and you go. But Matt at Arms says casual mode exists. Well, there is a place in Hearthstone that says casual mode, but when you actually go into casual mode,
it's no different.
More often than not, you're playing against a meta or a meta variant of a deck. You very rarely anymore get to see a truly original deck.
In players' defense, a lot of people go into casual to test out meta decks before they put them on the ladder if they're not comfortable with them. So I can understand why they're going there. They're learning
I run into any Finn Paladin in casual all the time.
Yeah.
So, all right. So let's talk about this week's deck. I'm excited to talk about this week's deck. It's a lot of fun. It's a deck that was proposed to us by Versika. It is one of Savijz decks, and it's Reno Mage. Mage Reno Great Again. It's the title of tonight's show. All right.
Whoever thought of that name is a brilliant and gorgeous individual.
I think like that individual said earlier, even the sun shines on a dog's sometimes.
Oh my god.
All right.
You don't even get a head shake for that. You just get hands in the face.
All right. I'm going to run down the deck list, and then we'll talk about it for a minute. So, again, it's a Reno deck, 30 individual cards. So here we go.
Deep breath.
Forbidden Flame, Arcane Blast, Babbling Book, Mana Worm, Mirror Image, Blood Mage Thalnos, Doomsayer, Frostbolt, Jeweled Scarab, Loot Hoarder, Medivh's Valet, Arcane Intellect, Forgotten Torch, Frost Nova, Ice Block, Mind Control Tech, Cyclopean Horror, Fireball, Polymorph, Water Elemental, Azure Drake, Kabbalist Tome, Ethereal Conjurer, Blizzard, Emperor Thorson, Reno, of course, Archmage Antonidas, Firelands Portal, Flame Strike, and Pyroblast. Now,
okay, so let me go ahead and stop you here because I'm going to apologize to our listeners right now. This is not the list. This is what happens. This is what happens when you set up a new podcast studio instead of the night when you're supposed to be doing the list, which is what we were doing. So today, on his way home, or on my way home, Avantes is just like, hey, so is the Savijz list that we're playing tonight, is it pretty much on the one on the internet? And I said, well, yeah, it is. Does it have Yogg-Saron in it? He's like, well, yeah, it has Yogg-Saron in it. I'm like, well, then I'll replace that with Pyroblast. He's like, oh, okay. So this is a Googled Savijz Reno Mage list, but it is not the Savijz Reno Mage list that I'm playing.
Because Versika probably made 3 or 4 changes to it anyways.
No, I only did the Pyroblast. So when we get, actually, can you just screen share real quick? I'll pull it up.
Yeah.
And we can go to it from there. I'll share my screen to you.
Okay.
So you do not have Cyclopean horror in yours?
No.
Okay. Because that really threw me off.
Yeah. All right. So are we looking at me?
Well, I'll switch over once you get it pulled up.
Okay, it's up.
Hang on. I'm not seeing the screen share.
Start. Might help if I hit start.
There we go. That. Let's see. All right, there you go.
Okay.
Hang on. I gotta add a editing live on the fly.
Yeah. Sorry about this, guys. But like I said, these two desk jockeys get to sit and do this all day long. I'm running my rear around.
And we will read the deck out again for our audio listeners, so stay tuned.
All right.
You want me to go ahead and read that deck out?
There we go. All right.
Okay, I'm still not seeing anything. Okay, there we go. All right. So do you want to read it or do you want me to read it?
You can read it.
All right, so we have Forbidden Flame, Arcane Blast, Babbling Book, Acidic Swamp Ooze, Arcane Explosion, Blood Mage Thalnos, Cult Sorcerer, Doomsayer, Frostbolt, Wild Pyromancer, Acolyte of Pain, Arcane Intellect, Earthen Ring Farseer, Forgotten Torch, Ice Block, Elise Starseeker, Fireball, Polymorph, Water Elemental, Azure Drake, Kabbalist Tome, Flame Lance, Blizzard, Reno Jackson, Sylvanas Windrunner, Firelance Portal, Flame Strike, Medivh the Guardian, Alex Straza, and Pyroblast.
Wow. Okay.
This is different.
Yeah. Very different.
I think I like this list better.
So one of the changes I would take from the other list and put into your list is one of the most, because I played that other list 3 games last night, and I won 2 of them, and would have won my 3rd had I not thought the warrior couldn't burst me down as far as he did. But that Jeweled Scarab actually saved me in one of my games because it gave me a second copy of Ice Block.
You know what? We can do that. We'll take out live editing on the show, right? We will take out Wild
I think the
Pyro.
Farseer is really...
Yeah, it kind of helps.
Okay.
I'll take out the Pyromancer and we'll put in Jeweled Scarab.
I like that. That keeps our curve.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we will get an updated screenshot for the show notes before we post it to the website tomorrow.
I'll make Alex do that work after the show since, he couldn't get it to me before the show.
when what he means by he'll make Alex do that work is he will go next door and do it for Versika.
It's all good.
All right. So let's...
All right, I need to stop sharing, right?
Yes, you need to stop sharing. You share too much.
Sharing. Okay. Sorry about that confusion, guys. And like I said, I have to take part of the blame for this because I actually had Avantes over here helping me do this instead of doing what he normally does for the show. And there's only so many hours in the day.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. So let's do our final thoughts before we get into play mode here. I'm ready to see this deck in action. So, Zeroshio, go ahead.
My final thoughts. Enjoy the Heroic Tavern Brawl for what it is. If you enjoy watching streamers play really good decks and compete at a pretty high level, or whether you like playing it yourself, go out and enjoy this Tavern Brawl. It's not necessarily for everyone to play, but I think everyone can enjoy it. Secondly, big shout out to our patrons. We got the big tournament coming up in January. Make sure you get your patronage in. We have some really awesome guests lined up for the next few weeks on our show. So make sure to check us out. I would recommend live Wednesday nights at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. at heropowerhs.com/stream. And yeah, good gaming.
Okay, so going forward, this is going to be the final thought because Zeroshio just did everything for the rest of the show. I guess we're done. Brasika, do you have anything you could possibly want to add?
Actually, I do. It's a little bit of Hearthstone advice and a little bit of just life advice too. Be careful not to get caught up in what everyone else is thinking. Get out there, read on your own, think on your own, and really make your own decisions. Think about what you're going to say and how you're going to view something before you just jump on the train and do what everyone else is doing. I think you'll find that things usually aren't as awesome as everyone says they are, nor are they as bad as everyone says they are. Our individual views and experiences really affect how we view something. Make sure that they're yours and not just the views and the experiences of the people that you surround yourself with.
This has been Deep Thoughts with Versika Handy.
Unless it's our views, then that's fine. You can have our. Just kidding.
No, he makes a good point. And then makes a good point. Yeah. So, all right. Well, I don't really have anything else to add because you guys pretty much covered it all. So, with that said, if you're joining us on Twitch or YouTube, please stay tuned for the live play portion of the show. If you are listening via the audio podcast and you missed my picture earlier, well, that's on you. We would have liked to thank you for joining us. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at HeroPower_cast. And you can find all of our past episodes on YouTube at youtube.com/ECMMOGamers or on our website at HeroPowerHS.com. If you enjoy the show, you would like to support and improve it, and join in our tournament in January, you can do so by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/HeroPower. As always, we'll see you again next week.
And don't forget to use your hero power.
Twice.
Alrighty, well, I'm just gonna, take down this Reno Mage deck list over here, because apparently it's worthless.
Hey, we went almost 60 episodes without this happening. I'm surprised this is the first time.
Yep. I know. All right. Well, I'm waiting on Hearthstone to boot up. Why don't you tell us a little more about Viforce?
All right. So we talked at the start of the show about the importance of having a machine capable of pushing this next generation of gaming. Just because these games aren't out yet in bulk doesn't mean that they aren't coming. So one of the most important things that you can do as a PC gamer is to make sure that your rig is capable of handling what's coming out. But another very important step to that is to make sure that if you're going to spend the money on a machine, that you future-proof it the best that you can. So if playing these games in these ultra-high settings and on 4K displays, and you're looking at exploring the VR, it's important that you have a machine that is not only capable of running what is going to be coming out first, but also being able to run the games that are going to be coming out in the next 6 to 8 to 10 months without having to make significant upgrades to your machine. That's what you're going to find in the Impulse. So go to ViforceGaming.com, check out the Impulse. If there's something that you even see on the Impulse that you want upgraded from there, go to the Contact Us page, shoot the guys at Viforce an email, see what they have to offer and help them adjust the Impulse to meet your needs. It's also, I wanted to go ahead and note that the Impulse is actually what the Viforce gaming guys use as their personal gaming rigs. So not only are they saying that this is the top end, but they're putting their money where their mouth is, because that's the rigs they're using as well. So like I said, Christmas time's coming up. It's that perfect sweet spot. You can finance it 6 months and make maybe a down payment for Christmas money or whatever if you're wanting to do that, or stretch it all the way out to get your tax return back. But now is the time to order that if you want to make sure that you're starting the new year with a great rig. And if you're going to be participating in that patron tournament, it'd be nice to be able to play Hearthstone on a rig that makes it look nice.
All right. You ready to rock and roll?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. I'm ready to play this deck.
All right, I am finding an opponent, sir. I'm willing to bet it'll be a worthy opponent.
That's saying a lot.
Yeah.
Is there a worthy opponent worthy of playing you?
That's a good question.
Too soon.
Too soon. My bad.
Too soon.
Well, that's interesting. I've not had this happen yet.
That.
Khadgar versus Khadgar. And I cannot get a coin today. I bet I played 20 matches today and I've gotten the coin once. All right, so we are looking at Cult Sorcerer, Blizzard, and Polymorph. I definitely want to keep Cult Sorcerer. Blizzard, I'm definitely pitching. The early game isn't really super important. It'd be nice to have some removal for like a mana worm early, but I am fairly concerned at being at rank 15 on the ladder that this might be Tempo Mage. So I'm considering keeping the Polymorph in case that we get an annoying 2/4 that blasts our face. What do you guys think?
I like keeping the Cult Sorcerer and the Polymorph.
Make a decision quick.
There we go.
Yeah, I like
Cult Sorcerer and Polymorph.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
And we drew into Forbidden Flame.
Which gives us some early removal.
Oh, and we get Medivh.
Yeah.
That's way
Not
too
terrible.
early to draw
It's
in.
too early.
It is what it is.
Now, in this deck, it is important to know what to keep in your hand because you only have one copy of each.
Yes.
So if you get something you really think you're going to want against your opponent, it's probably best to keep it.
Yeah. And I know some people will pitch a Reno back. If I'm playing a Reno deck and I get Reno in my opening hand, I always keep him.
Yeah, I would agree.
So it's turn 1, and my opponent.
They're going to rope because they're searching on Twitch to see if you're streaming.
Surprise,
They
we
can
are.
snipe you.
We
We
are, but they're not going to find us in Hearthstone.
All right. So 2 mana. I don't really think we need to play Cult Sorcerer right now. We have nothing that needs spell power, and I don't really feel like we can apply the pressure we need with it early. I say we just take out the Babbling Book.
Yeah, I think you just burn the book.
Oh.
Bam.
All right.
His Arcane Missile needs like a little flourish or something. It's just too straight.
Yeah, they didn't do a lot with his to make him as unique. Of course, he was just a $5 one.
All right, so Acidic Swamp Ooze doesn't really do much for us in this matchup.
Unless this is a mirror match.
Unless he's running Guardian.
Yeah, I was going to say, there is something to be said for keeping it in case he's running Medivh. I say we just ping the 3/2,
Well, I mean,
take care of it.
there is the option of putting out the Cult Sorcerer and then using the Forbidden Flame on it with the spell power will kill that other other Cult Sorcerer.
That's true, but that's going to leave us with just Flame Lance to deal with. Well, no, because we got Arcane Blast too.
Yeah.
We can do that. I'm okay with that.
That just keeps us some tempo on the board, and he has to burn a spell to get rid of our Cult Sorcerer now.
Yeah, next turn we're going to play Water Elemental, and that's going to be a little harder for him to deal with. So
Yeah. All right. So
Turn 3.
we are
Arcane
waiting.
Intellect. Oh, no.
There.
Flame
Make
it-
Waker.
Flame Waker.
and he's going to shoot us.
Oh, he missed.
So he had to use his arcane blast on us.
Yeah.
That'll be okay. I say we polymorph this.
I think and if this is Tempo Mage, that's a pretty good target.
The best target, probably.
That's actually one of the cards that I thought about when I was looking at this deck list, trying to decide what to keep and what to toss out.
Mm-hmm.
So I think here is a great opportunity to use Arcane Explosion.
Yeah, we could Arcane Explosion and ping.
Yep.
Or we can put down the water elemental and make him have to deal with it.
Yeah, but I want him to have to use a spell to deal with it. An important spell.
Yeah,
Well, he would use either a Frostbolt or Fireball or Forgotten Torch.
Yeah, Matt at Arms says we could have saved the poly for Rag.
That's
Yeah.
true. We could have.
Our Flame Lance can deal with the Rag, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually why I have Flame Lancing. I don't remember if that was in the original deck or not. I think I may have put Flame Lance in.
I like it. I like Flame Lance.
All right, so we just drew into Doomsayer. He has a 4/4 Azure Drake on the board.
So our hand, we're looking at Medivh, which we can't use yet. Water Elemental, Acidic Swamp Ooze, Azure Drake, and Doomsayer. I think there could be something said for tempo dooming here.
Yeah, but it's too easy for him to find the extra 2 damage to deal with it, I think.
Yeah. That would probably require a Frostbolt or a second Arcane Blast.
I mean, a Fireball alone takes care of it with spell.
Dusharmo
Right.
says he likes the Water Elemental here.
I like the Water Elemental here as well, and then a value ping on the Azure Drake.
Okay. Water Elemental and a value ping. Let's see. See where he goes with it. But the later we get into this game, the less value Doomsayer has.
Yeah, yeah. Does he have to trade?
Or the Ring Farseer would be nice. I
Yeah.
say we look.
I like the book here. What about Doomsayer and then Ice Lance the Azure Drake? That way he has to deal with Doomsayer with spell damage.
I can do that.
That way he has to have the Fireball.
We can ping again. That way,
Yeah,
it's
Just
turn.
in case.
If he does manage to get rid of the Doomsayer, we can run the Babbling Book in and
Yeah.
ping, take out the Drake.
Yeah, yeah.
He can't just Flame Strike this. That's why. Because this is his Flame Strike turn.
Yeah.
So he's either dealing with the Doomsayer or dealing with the rest of the board. He can't do both. Or he shouldn't be able to do both. Yeah, he's just conceding this turn.
Observe and reflect.
There's your Farseer.
All right.
Do we Azure Drake first just to see
Yeah.
if we draw in anything else?
Or,
Guardian.
what's he got? He's got 6 cards.
Yeah, on 8 mana he can't do 19 to us. I don't think
No.
that. He might be able to rag. But if rag hits our face, we can run Medivh and ping it.
Yeah.
I like him. Yeah, Cabal's Tomb is in.
So he's Azure Draking. He's digging for answers. and he plays a secret.
Hmm.
All right, so I say we match
I say,
Drake for Drake.
you think so? I would. Do you think that secret could be mirror? Do you think maybe you should lead with the Farseer and then play
Yeah.
the Drake?
That's
Yeah,
what I was
Farseer.
thinking.
Yeah. Tempo Mage doesn't really run Mirror Entity much anymore.
No,
No, Matt at Arms in chat says it's possibly counterspell.
it's a likely counterspell, especially after seeing Medivh.
Hey, and there's our
There's
Reno.
Let's go ahead and test for Os Barrier.
We don't want to clear the Azure Drake?
Nope.
That's got to be counterspell or ice block.
Yeah.
Or Effigy.
Could be effigy. Ooh.
I think this is a good flame strike,
But if as long as it's not counterspell,
Counterspell, yeah.
right?
But we'd have nothing else to test for counterspell.
that's true.
So might as well just do it, to be honest.
We don't really have another option. Sylvanas is not a strong play with...
No.
You know, it's still a 50-50 because we'll clear...
We can't clear our own Sylvanas right now.
Well, no, but if you play Sylvanas and clear one of the O2s, in fact,
We
you could
can
actually
clear
clear
three.
both O2s, but you'd have to use one swing of attach.
yeah, but then we
I'll
leave the
take out-
Azure Drake up.
Let's test for effigy. So it's not effigy. It is for the likely.
Okay, it's more than likely counterspell.
Let's play Sylvanas.
Yeah.
This is going to give him another turn with Emperor Thorsten's the only thing I'm worried about.
Right, but there's nothing that we can do about that.
Yeah, not if that's counterspell.
Yeah, I think Sylvanas is the strongest play there because now he has to deal with it.
I agree.
I think you're right. He's just pressure and damage now.
Yeah, we really need to draw a low mana spell here.
We need arcane. We need our arcane blast right now. That's not a low spell.
No.
No.
But we could take the 3/5.
But Flame Strike is still going to give us a 7-mana minion.
Not if it's countered. I don't think. Will it?
I think it will, because the spell is still coming into play before it's being countered. I think it would still proc attach.
Well,
we
if
actually tested for Effigy last turn, so
Yeah,
Right.
if we run ATS and Hero Power the O2 and then kill Thorson, we'll get the 3/5.
okay.
That's true. Yeah, we can do that.
Our worry is with as much as he's gotten off of Thorson, do we need a Reno now?
No, because he needs to set us. We're not in lethal yet with 4 cards. He would need 6, right?
Oh, and we held on to the ooze.
Ooze value.
Yes. He's going to get 1 minion off this. So ooze, obviously.
Now,
So do we,
let's see.
I think we have to Reno here.
I
I
agree.
think we have to as well.
So I
I
think
hate
if we,
leaving that 7/7 up.
right, but I think we hit the 3/5 with the staff. Hero power it, run the Kodo into it,
Okay.
and then Reno.
And then Reno.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that line. We're using this staff for a lot more than Probably should, but okay. It gives us good tempo on the board. We can trade in minions to get rid of Medivh. What's the thinking man's deck, man? Wow. So, ooh, that's good. Do we fireball to test
Test for counterspell.
counterspell?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Okay.
We had to get rid of it. And
See,
there's your answer. Attach does not prop.
I didn't think so. But that means we can have it for Flame Strike. I would run those two in and set up for Flame Strike next turn.
Yeah.
And see, we may get to a point we have to use Alexstrasza defensively,
Yes.
depending on what he draws into. Hopefully, he gets minions and puts them on the board, but he got a Kambala. Well, that ice block's going to be good.
Yeah, but that puts us in a spot because I really want to use it now, but I want to.
Can.
Yeah, but that only gives us a 3-mana minion.
No, but we can Flame Strike. I don't know. He's got 4 spells in his hand.
What would we get if you Pyroblasted right now?
A 10-mana minion?
Yeah, well, what are we looking at? We're looking at
Ysarge,
Nizarj, yeah, Nizarj.
I worry about leaving that 4/3 up, though. Because with the number of spells he just drew.
Yeah, I think we set up lethal here. I think we play Alexstrasza and force him to either kill us this turn.
But how are we going to kill the 4/3?
We're not.
We're not. We're going to offensive Alex this turn.
Yeah.
And then he has to deal with it, or he dies next turn.
He either kills us this turn or we kill him.
Oh.
It's a Mexican standoff.
It's a roll of the dice.
I really think he has at least 4 spells in his hand, and each spell's going to buff up the Mana Worm by 1 attack.
Right, but not all of them are offensive. He's already used 2 Frost Bolts. So.
No, but he just cast Kabbalist Tome.
Right,
so we don't know.
He's not going to get... Chances of him getting 3 purely offensive spells are pretty slim.
Runner, Fireball kills us.
Chat loves the Mexican standoff.
Never heard of that before?
I've heard of it. Never worked out for me before.
There's a movie called Dragonheart that had Dennis Quaid and Sean Connery.
The problem is with me, most of my Mexican standoffs involved actual Mexicans, and they were mean to me. It's my god family.
It's not
older siblings, cousins.
It's not meant to be racial at all. It's meant to be.
No.
All right, Pyroblast him and hit him in the face.
I can't believe that worked. He got mad, threw his headphones down, and asked his mom to make him some Hot Pockets. Wow. Kudos on you. That was the right call. I wouldn't have had the cojones to see what I did there to make that call.
Nibble Swap in chat is the one that brought it up.
Yeah.
Chat came through with the play that time.
That's right. Way to go, chat. We did it.
Yeah,
but yeah, the
2 fireballs is what I would have been afraid of. Or actually,
chances of him having that are what 6 cards.
Fireball and only 3 damage spell would have worked 2, I think 9.
What is that?
He would have been just short.
Yeah,
he would have been 15 for that.
There's a 16% chance. So what is that? That's less than 1 in 5. So it's less than 20% chance.
He would have needed Runner, Fireball, or Fireball, Frostbolt, Ice Lance. Fireball, Frostbolt, Roaring Torch.
Yeah, this is a tough matchup. So we have Hunter. At least we've got the coin, so he doesn't have the.
At least we have the
coin.
acidic swamp ooze because he's going to probably put his bow out turn 3.
Yeah, so we're keeping the ooze. I think we keep Thalnos.
I keep
like
it all.
keeping the ice block, and I like all this.
Yeah, I do too. Ducharme agrees with us.
Yep, so does
Matt
Mad
at
at
Arms
Arms.
says keep the hand.
Keep the hand.
Yeah.
Mad at Arms also says all of us together make one great Hearthstone player.
Yes.
Welcome to the
Nibble
community.
swap.
That's what we do.
Yeah,
Nibble Swap definitely called me out. If we'd done my line, we would have been reacting the rest of the game, and that's probably why I'm not the best at Freeze Mage.
Yeah. I actually like just passing here.
That's what I was thinking. Yep.
I know
I do
he
too.
would struggle to get rid of the Blood Mage, but I don't really have anything to follow Blood Mage up with.
Well, he didn't come out with a turn 1 play, so that means his hand's kind of clunky. He didn't have Argent Squire. He doesn't have Fiery Bat.
I think a case could be made for putting Blood Mage out, and that way we could Arcane Explosion next turn and take care of any Wild Elix or Huge Toads.
Well, they're like so out of the meta right now.
I'm just trying to think through the plays.
Yeah, I mean, there's merit in that. There's not much
I
he's
just
going to do.
pass. Yeah.
Yeah,
I would
think
pass.
Wild Elk.
Yeah, watch it happen. Watch it happen. That'd be. Where a trench goes to
Hobbling
Ducharme
book.
was cracking me up.
I think
Hobbling
Hobbling
book.
Oh,
Yes.
look at that. It's a second Pyroblast.
That's
I'll
right.
take that.
Oh, you'll take that all night long, just like the candle.
Mad at Arms says Disguised Toast just put out a new video on taking risks.
Okay, so there's a chance that's Snipe, but there's also a chance that's Cat Trick. So I'm thinking we Blood Mage, Coin, Arcane Explosion.
How about this? We coin first. And then that way, if it is Cat Trick, we can Blood Mage, Arcane Explosion. And if it's not, we can Water Elemental.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
There we go. Because the Water Elemental would have survived the Snipe. And then we clean up the 2-3 with the 1-1.
Yep. Well
I got one
done.
right.
Well done. We'll make
Hey, a
him,
compliment from Nibble Swap. He doesn't give out compliments very easily.
we'll make a mage
Gotta earn
player
'em.
out of you yet, Zeroshio.
Right. Oh, he got the best, one of the best outcomes off of Barnes in this deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the just playing the water elemental here?
I like it.
Yeah, I think so too.
It may make him bust out his bow so he can
Oh.
do something with it.
Chat's breaking out the legend player memes for Zeroshio.
Well, as a legend player, I support the memes that are going on chat right now. One-time legend. One time, that's all that matters, right? You just wait. When the new set comes out, I'm going to go crazy with Paladin.
Yeah, I thought about cycling the Blood Mage into the 3/4, but I liked Zeroshio's point of trying to prompt him to play the bow.
See, and this, he now has to pop the bow out. And because he knows he'll be frozen the rest of the game.
Yeah, so now I think this is actually a really good turn for us because I think Acidic Swamp Ooze into the bow, and I think it probably gets sniped.
Okay.
And then maybe Forbidden Flame the wolf and clear
Okay.
barns. If it's
Clear-
a snipe.
Okay.
If it's freezing trap, then I say we still forbidden flame, but we leave barns alone for the moment.
Do we test? Do we test with the?
I think
With
we
the-
test with the ooze.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so.
Like that?
It is not snipe. DeSharmo says it possibly freezing trap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Freezing trap would have been the best option for him.
We could cult sorcerer,
Cold sorcerer and hit the
but if
forbidden.
it's an explosive trap, we lose. So I
Yeah.
think forbidden
Yeah.
flame is
We just go at Barnes.
cat trick.
Yep.
Cat
Cat
trick.
trick.
That's actually not terrible.
No. Not terrible at all.
If he has another bow, he'll want to run the cat into the 3/3, or he'll want to clear the water elemental regardless. There.
Mad at Arms is confused. I don't think he was expecting another cat trick there.
No, I don't think.
I wasn't either. But if this is freezing trap, this could actually be really good for us.
Try test it by running into 2/3, or
Yeah.
into the 4/2.
I say we run it into the 2/3. If it's freezing trap, then it goes back to our hand and we can use it for a second bow. If
Yeah,
it's not freezing trap, we take out the secret keeper before it gets big.
Yeah.
that's true.
And it is.
Freezing trap. All right. So what's our line here? Ping the 3/1 clearly.
Yeah.
Then we have 4 mana. Do we go ahead and ice
Actually,
block?
he's only got one card in hand, so what's his max he can do?
So
2,
he's got
4,
9, 11 on
11.
the board.
He can do 16. He could conceivably kill us.
Yeah.
Ice block, I think, is the best play there. Then ping pong.
Yeah. I mean,
And
it
I know
adds the
that
damage
it
to
makes
the.
the secret keeper bigger, but I'm going to flame lance secret keeper next turn, I think.
Probably our best target. And we've been through both of his cat tricks, right?
Yes.
Okay. Ooh.
Flame lance. And then
Doomsayer?
Play the Doomsayer.
I like that. Because that pretty much just turns it into a taunt.
Pops a snipe.
But yeah, like Vasika
Yeah.
said, turns it into a taunt.
It's going to keep him from popping the block.
Yeah, he's
Really would
digging
like to
for
draw on the,
something.
kill command.
We need to really top deck Reno.
Yep.
Always Huffer.
Oh, always Huffer. Well, this means we're going to be surviving for at least another turn. Well, that's something.
I think Sylvanas is the play here.
I like it. Sylvanas,
And Colt.
and then just Colt Sorcerer, yeah,
Yep.
because he's gonna pop the block,
Yeah.
and we really just need to pop an Reno. Now he needs to decide if he wants to clear.
He can't.
Yeah, he can't clear everything unless he uses something from his hand.
Yep. He's trying
His-
to.
And so now we're gonna Reno.
Yes!
I was gonna say we're gonna defensive Alex, but no, we're gonna Reno.
Do we clear the Hogger?
I think you
Or do we
go
just ping
face and ping it.
You just ping it.
Yeah. And then next turn, I'm going to offensive
Starting
out
with-
Straza.
Yeah. Do you need to? Because we could literally just Pyroblast.
So, chance that that's another freezing trap?
Oh my god, that would be great. So
Why would he play that? Oh, no, I got this.
yeah. That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
But I probably would have ran into his face with Reno first just to test for freezing.
Spellbender.
Nope, it's not.
Oh,
Ooh,
you got
snipe the 1/1.
Yeah.
We got Spellbender.
Yeah.
And then lethal on this turn.
Yep.
Nope, I'm one off of lethal.
Yeah, 1 off. Let's say it didn't seem right. And see now any well, he's not going to clear any of our minions.
No.
Oh,
There he goes.
he learned his lesson.
All right.
That's a good deck.
2-0. It's a lot of fun, that's for sure. So many answers. I love decks with answers, and this deck has answers for everything.
Only
So,
one
yeah,
answer for everything.
Chat was saying that Alex Stronza put another 4 damage on the board, and it took us up, and it really did. I didn't want. See, if I'm looking back, I think one of his outs would have been quick shot into kill command, and I
Yeah.
think that would have still killed us. So that's why I opted for the Reno.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even
Well, I
if,
mean, we top decked Reno. So.
Yeah, we'd have been at 15.
but like instead of playing Alex Stronza over the Reno, because I would have Alex Stronza back to 15, and then he had 9 damage on the board, but I guess I would have cleared some of it.
Yeah, and traded the
No,
Sylvanas
he would
like
have
we
still
did.
gotten to go. He would have still gotten to go. Right?
Yeah, because of the kill command that could have put us in lethal.
Right.
And we hadn't seen a single kill command the whole game, right?
No, he used one.
Did
So
you use one?
yeah, no, I traded.
Okay.
I was just overthinking it.
Yeah,
I did trade.
yeah.
It
But
would have been an
In hindsight, with that trade with Sylvanas, I would have went to face with Reno first to test for, because if that would have been freezing trap on Sylvanas, that might have bit us. But it wasn't, so it didn't matter.
Right. So, all right.
The current secret hunter only runs it runs 1 freezing, 1 explosive, 2 snipe, 2 cat trick, right?
I run two freezing, 2 explosive, 2 cat trick, 1 snake, and the lists I've seen swap out snake and snipe.
Oh,
1
I
snake
run
or 1 snipe.
I run 2 snipe. I run 2 snipe, 2 cat
But you're
trick,
Versika.
1
You do
freezing,
things different than everybody else,
and 1 explosive.
and you make them work.
I was getting ready to say I think I'm 10-1 with mine, but I'm pretty sure that I got my list from. I pulled that list straight out. I made no alterations to it, so it was either I don't even remember now.
Yeah. Nibble says it doesn't really matter. Would have been hard to lose that one anyway.
Yeah.
But all right, well, that's gonna do it for this week. Let's do last minute thoughts on anything else you guys want to talk about. We're gonna start with Versika this time.
You know, we were struggling to really think about Mage outside of the current meta, and I pulled this a couple of weeks ago, and I like the surprise factor of Reno Mage. People just don't plan for it, so they get into the game and they don't really know how to play against it. And if you play it kind of like Freeze Mage, then you have a good shot at catching people off guard. Now, as you get far higher up in the meta, of course, the surprise isn't going to work as much. The players are good enough to overcome the initial surprise of it being Reno. But I like it. I think it's a strong third Reno alternative.
Okay. All right, Zeroshio.
I'm excited for Mage with Gadget Zan. There's some really new cards that have come out. If you're interested in seeing what they are, we've been posting them in our Discord, and there's also some sites you can look up to find those. It's really going to revolutionize how Mage is played, and I think it's going to be more counterplay than just tempo. And I'm really excited to see that variety of maybe secret mage come back.
Yeah, I am too. Matt at Arms just brought it up. Toast had mentioned it earlier, and Versika has been a long time proponent of Beneath the Grounds. That card is going to be a staple in Rogue playing against the Cabal.
Yes.
And I'm excited to see it get some play, even if it's only going to be able to see play for a few months before it rotates out.
And it's not just going to be for rogues, because it can possibly be discovered with Shaman and Druid from the Jade Lotus.
Cards,
so, I mean, there's a possibility you could use your Discover mechanic and get a Beneath the Grounds against a Cabal deck or a Singleton deck, and you definitely want to pick it.
Yeah,
it can be in any deck, because you can get it off Jeweled Scarab.
That's true. You can get it off Jeweled Scarab.
True. You can, Jeweled Scarab tech.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I love the Jeweled Scarab. So
I'm loving so far, and I'll talk more about this when I do some of these Patreon videos once more the set comes out. There are a lot of valuable tech cards. What I mean by that is tech cards that are for countering a specific card or meta or archetype, but also they have value in any deck anyways.
Yeah. So my last thought is that we're maybe 3 weeks out from having new cards, guys. I'm super excited, and I can't wait to actually start getting some of these new cards on the show. Each of us are going to record our pack openings for you guys.
Of at least 50 packs.
Yeah, of at least 50 packs each. Those will go up on our YouTube channel. So we'll let you know when they're available. Should be a lot of fun. I don't know about these guys, but I usually talk through the cards as I open them. So you'll at least get my thoughts for sure. And Zeroshio always talks. Even when he's the only guy in the room. So you'll get his thoughts too. So
my best friend is myself. I give myself the best advice.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for us this week. If you have any questions or comments about the show, please email us at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com. Do us a big favor. Hit that subscribe button below on YouTube if you haven't done so already. Or give us a follow here on Twitch to be alerted when we go live. For more details on our tournament, check out patreon.com/heropower. As always, guys, we'll see you next week. Good gaming.
Bye. Bye-bye.